You ready?
We've all seen the new Spider-Man
Saw
movie.
it.
We all saw it separately. We all had 3 separate theater experiences.
That's right.
You know what's going on here, don't you?
Some of us had a paid audience, and others had guys taking their feet out and taking pictures of their toes.
One, please.
Well, we'll get to everybody's theater experience, but we'll go around. Hunter, what did you think about it?
I thought it was easily the best Tom Holland outing as the character, as far as him as Spider-Man and the quality of the movie. I think Destin Daniel Cretton is absolutely the guy for the job moving forward. He absolutely washes John Watts from a visual, stylized perspective and from a human, genuine, emotional perspective as well. It's definitely the most emotional Tom Holland outing. You know, comparing it to the other Holland movies and even just the other Spider-Man movies, I feel like it's definitely up there for me. It's not perfect by any means. Its strengths far outweigh its weaknesses. For once, I am actually excited about the future of this character within the MCU and not just met with extreme just caution. All the previous Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, parts of it I've enjoyed, other parts of it I've actually loathed. Homecoming being my favorite one out of that trilogy, but it's there. It's there. They're finally there. They finally know what they're doing with the character. They're
Took
not
them 10 years.
Yeah, just it only took them 10 years, but it was a great time with the movies.
How was your audience?
I had a great theater experience, thankfully. I was actually very scared, to be honest.
What was the audience like? From your outing, it sounded like you had a paid audience compared to all of us.
Yeah,
because
you
it
had
came in like
Chuckles,
which
people
honest,
clapping.
They were laughing at the things that the
they were
filmmakers
responding
wanted
to
them to
pretty well.
laugh at. They wanted them to cry at
Hell
the
yeah.
parts they wanted them to cry at, and they unfortunately did clap. They actually clapped at directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, which I thought was actually pretty interesting because but then again, I mean,
Get some Creighton heads in the
just be a
audience.
paid audience. I don't know, because everyone was also wearing Spider-Man t-shirts and like Spider-Man costumes. It was pretty fun to see. Actually gave me a little bit of joy
You
for
were sitting
2
there
hours.
like the end of the movie where it's like, damn, they all room for Spider-Man.
There's no character in fiction right now that has as much motion as Spider-Man does, which we
Real.
have seen from the box office. It's
I saw
directed
it opening
by-
night.
Opening night, yeah, Thursday night.
Thursday night, I was
was-
there.
Yeah, how was that experience?
You know, it honestly was weird because there was not like a peep out of like most of the audience, except for the fucking guy sitting next to me who laughed at quite literally everything in that movie. Like it didn't even have to be funny. There was a scene where I can't remember exactly what happened. I'll have to rewatch the movie to be able to pinpoint it exactly. But he had like chuckled at something, and I was in my head thinking like, man, that's not really funny. Like, what is this guy laughing at? Whatever. And I'm just kind of like being a critic in my head. And I'm like, you know what? I paused for a second. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm just being too much of a cynic.
maybe you're an
Maybe I'm
asshole.
too much of an asshole. Yeah, exactly. That this guy can't laugh at the movie. Whatever. And then there was the immediate following scene. Spider-Man's going to like the damage control center, and a door slams behind him.
You know what? Like, if you have not watched this movie, turn this.
Spoilers!
Yes.
Spoilers!
Spoiler alert, we're
Turn
going.
this off.
He
You're
goes
going
into
right
the
into it.
damage control room, and the door slams behind him. And I'm like, bro, if this guy laughs, and Spider-Man does he reacts to it, and he's like. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. This guy cannot be real.
I mean, I do feel like that there are definitely people that we've all experienced in a movie theater where there is always one guy that is like that. There's always one guy that is laughing at literally
And he
every
just
single
so
thing,
happened to be sitting next to me.
which is unfortunate. However, if it's something to actually laugh about, I don't feel like it's that big a deal. But if it's after like literally every single thing or after an emotional thing and just like as a nervous laugh, you're annoying. You're an annoying person.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
hate going to the movies with you.
Absolutely. But it did not take away from my movie going experience. I did enjoy the movie. It was for a Marvel movie, I will say I was shocked. That was like that's the first time in a while that I've been to a Marvel movie been like, damn, that was actually not that bad.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely the first time I've watched one in a long time that I haven't felt immediate like I just felt like I've just wasted 2 hours.
And I did like
no, yeah, for
Soy Jack when Hulk came on screen. We all know
Big
from our
Hulk
Brave
guy.
New World.
Big Hulk guy, by
Yeah,
the way.
I'm a big
Big
Hulk
Hulk
guy.
guy.
They put him on screen. He's bigger, he's greener, and he did the fucking Hulk slap. Like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. And right as I'm picking my fucking jaw off the ground, I realize the wool has been pulled over my eyes, and there is no longer the Hulk in the movie. You will not see him again, and also that motherfucker's in jail.
All right. What's going on in
Tyshi, how did you feel about Brand New Day?
I liked Brand New Day a lot. First thing that I thought after the movie ended, and this was after, some guy during the previews, he'd taken out his toes and then flash on taking a picture whenever the screen went dark. I had to get to the previews. And then there's also a construction worker guy who was definitely the biggest idiot I've ever heard, because he was talking about how his coworker was like, he sounded like the worst person ever. Because this guy, it's like the movie interrupted their conversation because they were talking about a coworker just dogging on this guy, being an absolute piece of shit about him, and just saying like the worst things. The movie starts, the movie ends, and then he goes, anyways, and then just continues where the conversation was like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. The movie interrupted this important conversation.
How about a little tongue action, huh? Yeah, stick your tongue down his throat.
After we get past everything, first thing I said was, this movie is harmless. How could you be mad at this movie? Because, the last 3 pictures, I feel like people got a little upset. I wasn't the biggest fan of Far From Home.
You were
Homecoming
not.
grew on me. I was pretty lukewarm on No Way Home just because of the way it is. But Brand New Day, I was like, this is great. The first half of this movie is damn near perfect. It had the essences of the game, which I think is the best Spider-Man story, is the first game, the 2018 Spider-Man.
Specifically Spider-Man PS4.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
I am also right there with you. The
Yeah.
Insomniac Spider-Man PS4, that one specifically is all over this movie.
I was gonna say that had like a heavy influence on the
Especially
first
with
game,
the suit
and it's
and how
funny
it
because
stands
I
out.
remember talking to Tyshi the day after, and we were talking about it, and I was like, "Dude," and he was like, "The first half of the movie is perfect," and I was like, "Yeah, it literally just feels like the game," and he's like, "Yes, exactly. Like it's so perfect the interaction that he has with that police officer. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name.
You're talking
And-
about DeWolf, right?
Yes,
Played
the
by
wolf.
the same character, same actress who plays. She's in the
From The
Bear.
Bear,
Yes,
yes.
she's in the
Yeah.
Bear. She's wonderful.
Excellent in The Bear. Her solo episode in The Bear, I believe that's in season 3, directed by Ayo Edebiri, I believe is how you pronounce her name, but no, she's excellent. Good stuff, great stuff.
She's
but
like almost. I'm sure she's in the comics. I'm not sure, but she's almost like Commissioner Gordon a little bit with her character. I thought it was a lot of fun to have that connection, an actual supporting character, like within his Spider-Man life, not
Absolutely.
within like his Peter Parker life.
Well, and it also
I-
like this movie. I hate to cut you off, but this movie, it doesn't feel like Spider-Man is this like mythic hero. Like he just feels like a part of New York, and he is something that cultivates New York. He's keeping the streets safe, and he's helping people out. And Florence Pugh's characters, I mean, you do the small
Yelena.
potato stuff.
Hi.
He's just helping people out, and like I said, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like he's just there for the people.
Yeah, speaking on Yelena for a second, she's like actually for the first time, I believe, referred to as the Black Widow of
Yes.
the universe.
Absolutely.
Which I
yeah.
feel like-
Black Widow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ned says that
Mhm.
in the movie.
Which I felt like
my
was-
God, is
was
that
a
Black
great
Widow?
little like, okay, we're actually making steps to establish structure in the universe as far as the characters go. Because up until this point, all the world building for the MCU has been so lukewarm. There's been like little steps taken, but then Thunderbolts, I feel like it's definitely had like probably the most advances as far as the typical MCU like advancement for the story structure and the world building goes.
Meet the new Avengers.
Just little tidbit there of like, okay, we are actually making steps to
We're setting the narrative up for the next projects and the next
Yeah.
steps for it.
but it didn't like go overboard either with okay,
Well,
maybe a little bit.
Well, that's the second half of the movie.
Let me continue because there is, it's ingrained in the structure of the movie, and I hate to say that, and it's because I hate using that word, but the antagonist for this movie is Jean Grey. And so that's where the second half of this movie comes in. We have a Spider-Man story. We have him struggling with the fact that his DNA is changing, the fact that the parts of Spider-Man are taking over the parts of Peter Parker, and those are colliding, and those we're having just conflicts and turmoil over it, and just trying to figure that out. And I have Tame Impala playing in the background, and which was like the weirdest drop in the middle of that movie. And
I actually kind of liked it.
I
I kind of liked that
Some
drop. I
of
thought it fit
the
pretty
song
well.
choices in the score in this movie are good.
That's
But
the only memorable one for me, to be honest. Was just the Tame Impala one. But I'm also
there's
just a
good
white
story.
guy, so yeah. Oh, Tame Impala! Did you know that was just one guy?
I know Steve Lacy was also a part of.
Who are you most excited to see?
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Jean. I like Jean.
Okay.
She's the villain, but
And Michael, I don't know how to say his last name.
Michael Giacchino.
Giacchino, yes.
Lukewarm on his score, to be
Ooh.
honest.
Well, I mean, he's done so many Marvel score. I actually really like this Fantastic Four one, even though that movie is not. That's probably the best part of that movie is that score. But we're here to talk about Brand New Day. There is a second half of this movie that doesn't land as solid as I feel like it should, with how it parallels these characters and how everything sort of shapes up. But guess what? I like the movie overall, and that's why I'm like, at the end of the day, it's harmless. So why I there's no reason for me to be like, this is a bad movie, because I liked it a lot. I loved a lot of it, and it's well directed, and I feel like it's just a lot of fun. It's just a fun movie, and that's
It
but
is
it's just
absolutely a fun movie,
unfortunate
and
that it's placed before Doomsday. I don't think Jean Grey is necessarily there for Doomsday, but it's gonna be
Kind
the
of.
stuff
I
after.
mean,
But
kind of.
everybody knows. Well, Marvel knows that. Hey, everybody loves Spider-Man. We love Spider-Man. So let's put something so that the normal people, the most movie-going people, who are just like the general public, who doesn't really just goes to movies like every now and then because hey, it's kind of expensive. It is expensive. They go, let's put in this character that's going to set up for our next thing. Our next thing when we do our big reset after Secret Wars. So that's why I'm like, the placement of this movie is a bit unfortunate, but it does not hamper the movie as much as you think it would, because overall it's a pretty good structure of the movie, and I like the changes that he goes through and how everything unfolds. And the Punisher's honestly pretty great in his role in this movie.
he's awesome.
The Hulk is great, and I love Yelena, and it's a great lived-in world that sort of swings around, and I like all the sequences in it, and the action's pretty good. So you know,
The
yeah,
action
it's
sequences
harmless.
in this movie are some of my
Harmless.
favorite parts, and like I feel like we're watching a James Cameron with the slow-mo shit, man. And like it's awesome. Like it's
You just bring up Big James in here, Mr. Big Cameron.
oh yeah, we're bringing up the Big J.
Big JC.
The Big J.
Yep.
JC.
That man.
We got
does-
slow-mo.
That man is doing work that you wouldn't even realize.
I know.
That
That man's making Avatar 8.
You mentioned the action. Jackie Chan's stunt team, or his like stunt company, was actually involved heavily in the making of the action sequences of Brand
I
New
didn't
Day.
know that.
Well, I feel like some of the choreography of it and just like the way it was presented was awesome. Like I could definitely, like, even now I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, this is cool. But if I was a little kid watching it, oh my god, dude, I'd be all over that shit. And there were some shots at the beginning of the movie where they were like trying to do those comic book cover shots. Some of them I felt like were a little gimmicky, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
come on.
there are.
Come
those-
on.
Yes, I would like to talk.
okay.
I would like to circle back to just talking about kind of like the first act of this movie, because there's a lot that happens in this first act.
Well, that's why I kind of
and
like
especially like with that montage,
A giant
at the
time skip
beginning.
with the montage.
It's become
like
very
4 years.
commonplace, I feel like, for a lot of these Marvel movies I mean, just looking at Fantastic Four, it's almost identical with going through a period of time, which is in this movie, Peter being Spider-Man, going through I mean, it looks like a couple years
4 years.
of his
4 years,
encounters
yeah.
with comic book, his actual like iconic like comic book villains. Like you got Scorpion in there. You also have the Hand, not necessarily a huge Spider-Man villain, more so a Daredevil kind of.
Boomerang Man.
Yeah, Boomerang Man. The shots are Scorpion. Like that's the big
that's
one.
a big one.
And Michael Mando, I love him. He's such a great actor. Better Call Saul and
So good in Better Call
so
Saul.
good.
No. You think I'd be caught dead driving that thing? Looks like a school bus for 6-year-old pimps.
All right, shall we move this along?
Like I said, there were some of those shots where I was like, this is kind of gimmicky, but overall it does work, and I do like it.
Yeah, and it's supposed to show that he's, actually doing stuff and he's not just being a bum. Where if you've seen Daredevil Born Again season 2, there's a lot of questions that come up in that show of like, what the fuck is Spider-Man doing? And the fact is Tom Holland's too expensive and the budget for Daredevil Born Again could not afford to have a Tom Holland appearance most likely.
Well,
and there's also production problems as well with the contracts between Sony and Disney on the Spider-Man appearances, whatever.
Don't get me started on Daredevil Born Again. You brought it up, and I was like, there are a couple more problems than just the contracts things.
For the first act of this movie, again, we do get to see him actually struggling emotionally with what he's supposed to be doing. And we obviously have Zendaya and Jacob Batalon. Is that his name, Jacob Batalon?
I believe so.
Talking about Ned's?
Sorry
yes.
for everybody we fuck up.
The usual cast of these Tom Holland Spider-Man movies are back, just in a different context. And it all plays into Peter having big emotional problems that are the crux of the core of this movie is those issues that he's having with his supporting cast of characters. And it does hit.
Well, and I think that's some of the best parts of this movie is those scenes where Zendaya, Ned's character, and Tom Holland are interacting and having those conversations, because it's just like uncomfortable tension, because obviously as the viewer, there's the dramatic irony, as my English teacher would love. There's this element of like exactly what is going on, and there's just the connection that's not there. And that scene when Zendaya read that letter and was like, was I supposed to see this? And he basically confesses his love, and she's like, I don't know you. I don't love you. And it's like, oh, that was some of the most emotionally moving part. Like that dialogue sequence right there. Like, oh my God, I got teary-eyed in the theater. I was like, this is good. This is good stuff.
I still think it works so well because in every single other Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, they haven't really played into that kind of emotional depth at all, really.
Absolutely not, no.
It was like a gimmick of like a high school friend group in those movies. Yeah. But now, because we've had those 3 movies of build-up with those characters, the fact you see them apart and you see this friction, Ned and MJ don't remember Peter. They still don't know who he is. But he's been living all these years just putting it off, bottling those emotions up while still stalking his ex-girlfriend's Instagram.
Who's watching these videos? Nobody is. Well, to whoever's watching, goodbye. And it cuts to Tom Holland sitting in bed watching the fucking Instagram live.
Yes, on his Galaxy Z Flip.
Of course, yes. Oh, dude, I got so many ads before that movie of Spider-Man 3D printing a Samsung Fold.
Well, that, and then there's like that beautiful shot of him riding the train, and then there's like a BMW ad and stuff like that. You gotta pay the bills. The money machine must make money, and the money machine says
those movies gotta get made somehow.
Oh yeah, and not to mention Tom Holland's non-alcoholic beer brand showing up in the convenience store.
I was like, oh, that's fun.
I did
He's
not.
standing right by.
Yeah, he's like, and he almost grabs it too. I'm pretty sure. But Spider-Man does want a non-alcoholic beer.
He actually does drink alcohol in this movie for the first time ever.
Well, like
on
I
screen,
think it's just kind of like
it's just a red Solo cup with ambiguous liquid.
Whoa, now let's not get too hasty.
It is ambiguous liquid, but however,
hey man, drink this.
And then Ned's on some like 5-hour energies or whatever.
I thought that was hilarious. I thought that bit worked for me.
Just don't look at my face. Remember my face. Don't ever sell me these ever again.
And then the immediate.
But can you give me 2?
I was a good 2 for that.
That was fun.
I was a good 2 for the night.
But don't sell me any again after this.
I saw some really bullshit theories about that where everyone was like, what's the importance of the 5-hour energy Red Dragon
it's just a
energy drink? It's like, is this him gonna turn into, is this gonna make him turn into Hobgoblin?
Is this Hobgoblin?
Fuck off, shut up. No, it's not.
This is just a bit, man.
If that is what turns him into Hobgoblin, oh man, what are we doing?
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen though. I really
with modern FDA regulations, I mean, you never know.
RFK's turned everybody into fucking hobgoblins out there.
Reagan wouldn't have let these 5-hour energies in my convenience stores. That's all I'm saying.
Feel the dragon.
Ned saw them kratom shots, and he was like, I want a kratom shot too.
It's not energy drinks. He's actually just drinking kratom.
Hey Peter, why don't you try this? It's have you ever tried kratom before?
But that's all the time we have for today, folks.
Looking forward to Spider-Man 5. Can't wait for this movie to make $2 billion at the box office, probably.
Yeah, I wonder how much movie this.
I think it's gonna end up at 1.8.
1.8.
1.8 Billy.
It's gonna pass the Odyssey. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a
put
$2
it-
billion movie.
Put it on, put it on screen of what it actually is, and if we were all wrong by the time this comes out. But I mean, it'll make a lot. It'll make a ton.
It'll make a lot of money.
It's
People are
make a
going to
lot
be
of
very happy.
And it
with
sounds
the
like
amount of money it
Destin's
makes.
already kind of thinking about Spider-Man 5. So,
He's going nowhere.
oh yeah, they're gonna lock him down. I would like to see if he did something else, like what that would be. But you know, if he's like, I like doing this, why not?
He's got a lot of projects going.
Wonder
right
Man
now.
is great too, and that's another one. So it's like,
He's also supposed to do Naruto.
yeah, Naruto too. That should be interesting. Which I'm probably the only one here that's watching all of Naruto. I'm not a huge anime person, but you know, I've watched the big three, and you know that I do like that Shippuden. That Shippuden is great. Yeah, they're giving me the light, guys. But all right, we'll catch you next time.